Welcome back, everybody. It is March 1st and just got back from work, and we're gonna do some walking around down here. It's been about 50 degrees all night, so a lot of snow melted. There's still quite a bit of snow in the woods, and the little sheds we'd be walking right over, but the bigger ones I think we'd be able to see right now. I'm actually gonna have to head back to the house shortly and put new socks on. These socks keep bunching up in my boots and it's driving me absolutely nuts. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put up with it for a little bit longer, and then we're gonna go fix it because I'm sick of it. I was driving right up the edge of the fence here, and a bunch of these deer were crossing the fence right there where that low spot is, and right there is a shed. Spike. That is shed number 18, I believe. Just a little spike shed. You can see right where it was laying perfectly in the snow. First find of the day, not far from the gator. I'll actually just set this right there, grab it on the way out. Well, I literally just shut this off. I set that shed right there and was walking right through here and right there. Shed number 2. That was only about 6 yards from the other one. So I think we're at 18. We need 2 more to find 20. 2 little ones. We're gonna walk right up this trail here toward the food plot. A bunch more of the food plot has melted off overnight. And I know that there's sheds just like those 2 that are real small that you wouldn't, that with the snow I would have never found, that are probably sitting right out in the open now. We'll keep our I think no, I don't. No, that's just a piece of brush or something over there. Thought maybe there's a shed laying over there by the trail camera. I'm sure there's some sheds laying out there. Let's take a look in these pines right here. All these deer would bed down right in here off the edge of the food plot. See some hair there. Let's walk out into the food plot and see what it looks like out there now that more of that snow has melted away. I'm just gonna leave this thing running because I would be shocked if we don't walk out here and just see one right away. Well, I'm actually surprised so far we haven't seen a little shed out here somewhere. There's one. See that? I knew that there would be. Oh, actually it's not a shed. I thought that was a shed. It is not a shed. I really can't believe that we just walked across that and never found one. Unless I'm walking right by them. A lot of these big stems from these brassicas look antler-like. I'm surprised a lot of these haven't even been. I mean, look at that. A lot of them are chewed on, but realistically, there's still quite a bit of food out here when it comes to brassica. All the corn's pretty much gone. There's still quite a bit of corn or snow in the corn, so we'll wait for that to melt more before we spend any time in there. But I'm actually just a little bit shocked that I haven't seen any sheds, any small sheds out here in the brassica itself. I picked a bunch of sheds out of here, you know, when there's still a bunch of snow out here, so I just assumed that there's quite a few small ones that I've never saw. Now I'm thinking that only the big ones shed out here. The other thing is, I'm not overly confident I'm seeing these out here right now, because I'm embarrassed to say this, but last year I walked this like 3 times with no snow on it. I found some sheds, but when I came back here in the summer and burnt all this to plant the fall food plot, after I was done burning, I found like 5 sheds out here. So that means that they were there, you know, in the spring, and I never saw them. So who knows? Well, we're right off the edge of the food plot. I just walked all that up there and didn't have any luck, but came right off the edge. I have my cell camera right there, and right there is shed number 19, 2-year-old 8-point. I actually had quite a few encounters with this little buck during archery season. He was running does all over the place down in the hidey hole food plot by me. Aggressive little buck. He was really hot to trot for some of those hot does. I'll go ahead and mark this on Onyx. And there's still too much darn snow in here, but we'll keep looking. Well, I'm gonna set this one right up with the other two. And then we'll get on with the shed hunt. I was just walking this trail and you see a bunch of deer hair right there, and then if you look over here, got another dead fawn. Button buck or doe fawn. I am gonna venture to say that that is a button buck, because they all seem to be button bucks. And it sure is. Button buck. Seems like button bucks are always the ones that die. One thing that I found that was interesting, you know, all these winter kill fawns are pretty much entirely ate up by coyotes and fox and fisher and whatnot, but that buck that had shed the one side that I found dead yesterday, if you notice, nothing had ate at that deer at all, and that was because of that deer had an arrow wound and it was all infected. It ended up obviously killing it. So it's funny how the fox and coyotes have that sense to know that to not eat that deer because it's full of infection. I thought that was just kind of interesting. Everything else that's died is ate up and tore up, but he wasn't. That's an indication of the infection. Well, shed number 20 is proven to be a much tougher deal here. We found 3 right away, right pretty much next to the food plot, and haven't found any since. I'm in the pines here, and there's still too much snow in here for finding little ones, but you know, there's still a couple matches I need that are pretty big antlers. And I'm having trouble with those ones. But we're gonna keep looking. Turn you on when come across something. Well, we've been walking for quite a ways here, and I just had a sense that I was in the presence of a nice antler, and walked about 30 more yards and boom. This is a buck that I had quite a few pictures. Well, my GoPro's running low on battery, so I'm just gonna pick this up, but oh geez, look at that. Well, my GoPro keeps shutting off because it's getting too cold, but I found this 3-year-old 4-point side. This buck was interesting. He spent all of September, first week of October on ours, and then he ended up moving, and he didn't, you know, periodically I would see him on ours, but it was very rare. He kind of left. I think the heavy 9 really moved in when he moved out, so I think the heavy 9 actually bullied this buck out of, you know, our property for the most part. But when he shed a big chunk of his skull still on the pedicle there, so hopefully nothing's wrong with him. But I'll show you some trail camera pictures of him. Actually, I got him and the big 9 fighting right in front of a camera. Got lots of footage of them, picture frames of them fighting each other. It was kind of cool, so we'll keep after it. It is raining now, by gosh. I'm kind of circling the area that I found this shed, thinking that maybe the other side isn't far from it. I know that his other side won't be over toward the food plot much, because this deer really, like I said, was not very active over there. So I was hoping this other horn would be right here close somewhere. They've really been digging down here along the swamp a lot. Turn you on if we run into it. Well, I think this counts as a shed, but it is an extremely old one. That is an ancient sucker. Oh wow. There it is. Thing is pretty much entirely chewed up. But that is indeed a shed. And I'm counting it, by gosh. This is what they're supposed to look like right there. Not like that. Well, we made it back to the Honda, and looking at Onyx, we went 2 hours and 58 minutes for a total of 4.9 miles. So just about 5 miles, and I'm pretty whooped because I'm not in shed hunting shape yet. We'll get there though. We'll grab these 3 sheds off the fence post, add them to our collection here. We'll go and I want to go drive around the food plot a little bit, the old garden plot, and see. I know a bunch of snow melted on that one too, so there might be some new sheds that you can see now. Let's go check that out. I'm right off the edge of the pine thicket right here, or not the pine thicket, I'm in the pine thicket right off the edge of the old garden plot. I drove over here and I just figured I'd take a quick look around in here. There's tons of beds, and just found the tiniest shed of the year. Look at that thing. Right in this bed. I'll be darned. Now that is a small shed. About as big as my middle finger. A little bit longer than my middle finger. pretty good find. That is number 22, I believe. We'll have to do a final count when we get back to the house. I did not think I'd be finding any like this today with the snow the way it is. I was just heading out toward the Honda that's parked right there on the edge of the food plot, and I just found that tiny little shed right over here behind me in its bed. And we just found another tiny one. This one is actually one that snapped off. I've seen this buck a few times during the hunting season. Right here, there's, see a bed, and then right there. That's another little tiny one, fits right in my hand. Let's see both of them together here. There they are. Well, I've got the shed set out here. My lovely wife made it home from work, and she's now crushing a Reuben pizza. How is it?
It's good, but get out of my face.
Why are you covering your mouth?
Because it's full.
So here's the haul today. That's the nicest one, that 3-year-old 8-point. I showed you guys some pictures of him on the video. This is that little 2-year-old 8-point that I had go by me a bunch of different times in Cherry Ridge, chasing those does during archery season. Seen it with a rifle a few times. And then this one's really funny, the tiniest little shed you ever seen. And then this busted off one that was not far from that one. This one's extremely old. Probably walked by it numerous times over the years. And then those two. So in total now, on the whole shed season, we're at 25. And the 3 biggest ones I haven't matched yet. So this one, and this one. All 3 of them still have the other side laying out there somewhere. So we'll have to keep after it, and maybe Kaylee on her days off can go look for them.
Get out of my face.
Scott said I will. I appreciate everybody watching. We'll wrap this video up, and make sure you stay tuned for the next one, because we're going to be matching some of those up, fingers crossed.